How's everybody doing? Welcome to the channel. I got called out to this 2022 Jeep Wagoneer. Vehicle's experiencing some battery issues, so we're going to be replacing this battery, and then we're going to be testing the charging system, make sure that everything's working properly. This is the original battery, so most likely it just went defective. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to connect the battery maintainer. That way it keeps everything powered up to ensure that it doesn't lose any memory on the radio or on the window settings or anything like that. So let's go ahead and do that first. All right, so I just connected this battery memory saver, and now we're going to move forward to the front to start disconnecting the battery. So we're going to remove this cap, positive, and we're also going to disconnect the negative side first. It's a 10 millimeter. The positive. Now one of the things I'm going to do before we disconnect the negative cable, we want to make sure we disconnect the IBS sensor. This sensor is responsible for monitoring the whole battery and charging system. It lets the computer know exactly when to activate the alternator. So all we have to do is just disconnect it. There's a little tab here. We'll press it down, disconnect it. Because if you don't disconnect the IBS sensor, it's going to take about 3 to 4 CAN bus cycles of complete sleep before this IBS sensor resets and it starts letting the computer know when to charge, or before it starts to learn its, as they would call it, charging curve. So it's very important, disconnect this first before you disconnect the battery cable. So now we got this disconnected. We're going to go ahead and pull it off, just wiggle it a little. And it's extremely important, since this vehicle does come with an aux battery. According to manufacturer procedures, you want to cover the negative cable and lay it so it doesn't contact any metal surfaces. And we're going to do the same thing to the positive side, since we do have a battery maintainer as well. So we want to make sure we completely isolate these cables so it doesn't touch any ground. We'll put it here. And now we're going to come on this side, and there's a 10 millimeter bolt here. So we're going to go ahead and remove that. Down here, this cover, we'll put this on the side. So now we'll go ahead and remove this bad boy. This is a replacement battery here. Set it in place. Actually, it's the other way. There we go. Now we remove these covers. Put these on the side. We're going to go ahead and connect the positive side first. Actually, before we do that, let's go ahead and connect the tie down. There we go. Let's give it a nice little snug. we'll go ahead and connect the battery positive. Get the 10 millimeter, and we're going to snug it down. There we go. And put this cover back on. Actually, I'm going to leave this off because I am going to test the battery or the charging system. So now we'll get the negative. If it sparks a little, that would be normal, since we do have a battery maintainer and an aux battery as well. All right, now we'll tighten it down. Just make sure it's nice and tight. Yep. Before I connect the IBS sensor, I'm going to disconnect the battery maintainer since the battery is already fully connected. We'll go ahead and turn it off. Disconnect it. Now we'll go ahead and connect the IBS sensor. And we'll go ahead and put some stuff away, and then we'll get the voltmeter and take a look and see how it's charging. All right, so I'm going to turn this vehicle on, and then we'll test the charging system. Alright, so let's take a look. Alright, so it's perfect. Charging at 13.5, 13.6. That's really good. The charging system is definitely working excellent at idle. And you can tell it just kicked in right now, the alternator, even more. So it's at 14.2 now charging. So that's awesome. Now I'm going to do is I'm going to put a load on it, but I'm going to turn on some lights, the AC, and see how it does under load. Alright, so I just put the headlights for a load. It's at 14.3 volts. So that's excellent right there. System is definitely charging effectively. Let me add some more loads. I'm going to turn on the AC and see how it responds. Alright, so I just added an additional load. I put the AC on and it's holding steady at 14.3 volts. So this charging system is definitely working the way it's supposed to. So that's good. Alright, well that concludes the battery installation on a 2022 Jeep Wagoneer Series 2. If you have any questions on this, feel free to reach out to me. Like, comment, subscribe. If this helped you out, by all means like it so more people will be able to see it. So always remember, especially on this model, this IBS sensor, and I'm sure it's like this for other vehicles, you have to disconnect the sensor before you disconnect the negative from the battery, so that this IBS sensor could reset. In other words, it's going to start a new learning curve so that it knows exactly where the battery is as far as temperature, as far as charge, state of charge, state of health, and it'll communicate with the PCM, and then from the PCM it'll communicate with the body control module, and it'll activate the charging system. It'll let it know when to charge, how much to charge, and so on. Thank you again for joining me. You guys have a good one. Bye. You know what I'm going to do? This is the old battery. I'm going to inspect to see where exactly it is right now as far as state of health and state of charge. So this is a flooded battery. It's a 730 CCAs. So we're going to go ahead and start the testing. Alright, so yeah, so it came out as defective. It had a bad cell. So that's not good. So most likely this was the issue that the vehicle was having. So thank you for joining me. You guys have a good one. Take care.